I had to change and start a new live stream. Sorry for the inconvenience. Looks like we're live now. Hope you guys can find me. Still trying to find where I'm at over here. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Oh, there's Uncle. How you doing? I guess I find me here. Hold on a second. Come on, refresh it. That'd probably be the best thing to do. There we go. And just wait for the pop. Biglet, how you doing? Good to see you. Let me get this chat popped out for you guys. How is everybody doing this evening? You guys can hear me okay? Trying a new headset out here. Don't know how it works yet. There, can you hear me? Yeah, that'll work. You guys can hear me okay? Trying a new headset out here. I better stop that. There we go, got rid of the echo right away. Had a good echo going, so it must work okay. Alright, Jewish Redneck Prepper, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, I had to start a different stream from the one I scheduled because darn YouTube wouldn't let it open up, so I had to hurry around, get it all set up. Wait for some more folks to get in here and we'll get started. Should have a guest popping in here pretty quick as soon as he gets done at his stream. Hopefully, cross your fingers. Get rid of this so I'm not distracted. Perfect. Hey, Washington County News, how are you? Good to see you. Raisin Selena, evening. We'll wait for some folks to move in and we'll start tonight's topic. Hopefully one of my other guests will pop in. Still in the interim of finding people to show up. Most of them still must be over yonder. Okay. Shalom. Still snowing? No, it stopped. It's supposed to start again Wednesday afternoon. Give us a break for a day, probably. Yeah, he'll be over here directly. He said he'd come over and help me out. Backwoods Law. Hopefully he gets the link I sent him. Sent a couple of them out. Maybe they'll both show up. Tonight we're going to talk about your security travel. It'll be the third part of the series, and then we'll start a new series next week. Tonight's going to be on traveling between your bug in location to your bug out location. 98 Red B. Bingo! How are ya? Good to see everybody coming in here now. We'll wait just a few more minutes, you guys. Just go ahead and visit with each other. Hey, Bayou Prepper, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. I'm waiting on a few more people to get in here, and then we'll get her started up. The weather here, it snowed yesterday, but today it cleared up, and it's supposed to be nice today, tomorrow, and then Wednesday afternoon the snow's moving back in. Still wet in California. I was talking to SJ, and she lives out there towards where Uncle Al lives. She said she's getting tired of the rain. How's the weather where everybody's at out there? I know it's wet in California where Uncle Al is. Well, we got 9 folks in here. We'll wait for a couple more, a few more. I'm sick of it too. I'm ready for spring to come. It's not even close because the darn trees aren't budding out or anything here. I don't know about where you guys live, but the trees aren't budding and the grass isn't starting to turn yet, so. You got a few dry days coming up? Yep, we got about 2 of them, and then it's going to pour some more snow on us. Trying to get all my munchies together here on my diet. Well, I guess all the rain and the snow will give us some grit for in case all hell breaks loose, huh? You learn to live with it, maybe you can live through it. Bartlett pears are already flowering? Oh my goodness, you must be in California. California or maybe Florida. Don't forget to smash that like button, you guys. That's what gives us our rankings in the YouTube world. There's Keith. How you doing, my friend and brother? Just wait. Hey, Frank, how you doing? Yep, I'm trying to wait for you guys to wander on in here, and then we'll get going. South Dakota, not too bad. gets a little cold there in the winter, but I kind of like it in the summer and the spring. And it's not too far from where I live. The Black Hills, anyway. I don't have the tablet over here, Keith, or I'd show you the design I made for you. You'll like it, trust me. Hey, Frank, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Let me see. Where... While you guys are piling in here while I'm waiting on Backwoods Law and Grumpy, then tell you we're going to talk about the last part of the security series tonight, and that's going to be, say you had to leave your bug-in location and head out to your bug-out location, the security you would have to do to get there. Crossing your fingers. Backwoods Ray said he had some input there. So he's going to try to step in for us, guys. Everybody getting warm these days? Are you living in the warm country or the cold country? Hey, look who rolled through the door. Hey, Digger, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Kind of like a revolving live stream, huh? Land of Land, how are you guys doing tonight? That's Chris and Leslie, you guys. If you're not familiar with those guys, go check them out for me. You and Leslie there together then, Chris? She's not there. Tell her I said hey. You gonna go get the kids to bed? Hey, old man, how are you doing? Good to see you. 39 degrees. Man, you're on a heat wave there, bud. I'm going to try to get out of the house tomorrow and go get me an aluminum pan so we can do an experiment with that wax you sent me, old man. I think I'm going to make a couple of candles and then I'm going to do some fire starter. I sent some of those on to another person too, so hopefully they'll do something with it. Heat-seeking bus. I didn't see you. Almost slipped past me, but not quite. How are you this evening? Good to see you. If you guys aren't familiar with him, you need to get over there and check him out. He's converting a school bus into a camper. He's about ready to move into it to live, aren't you? Last time I checked, you were just getting ready to move in. "14 degrees in Idaho, you guys. I think it's minus something here, Chris. Do an update here. I'll let you know. Come on. Yep, a whole whopping 10 degrees here. Buddy, what? Buddy Bummers? I don't know what that means. 25 in Texas. Ooh, that's cold, you guys, for Texas. I thought it was be warm there by now. Been just a weird winter this year. We hardly got any snow, but it's been colder than two. You know what, Billy Goat? I can't say that word on here. Hey, there's Zach and Brenda. How you doing? Good to see you guys. Saw you ice fishing today. Zach, how'd that go for you? Was warm for a day, Frank? Yeah, that's what we thought here too. Then it turned to crud on us. That white stuff started falling out of the sky. You see, we got 17 in here. I imagine they'll be along. Maybe he got tied up or something. Let's get started. We're going to talk about your travel security when you bug out to go to your bug out location. Say you got compromised at your bug in location, because if you're like me, I'm going to bug in until I'm absolutely pushed out, So say you were to get pushed out of your bug in location and you had to head for plan B or maybe even C or maybe Z or something like that, but you had to go and do something else. Well, if you want to make sure that you're not just going to head out, because most folks that are going to have to head out, they don't have a plan like we do, They're just going to get in their cars and they're going to drive. Well, if you're thinking that you're going to just drive to the nearest motel, you need to really rethink that. Because the guys that don't prepare or haven't been prepared, that's probably what they're going to do too. If you guys have anything to ask or put in, did the link work for you, Backwoods? You're wiped out? Okay, no problem. Anyway, I can send you a link if you get rested up. Don't matter to me. But anyway, if you're thinking that you're just going to get out of town and go down the road like 100, 200 miles or whatever, and just find you a motel, I would probably rethink that, because that's what the guys that aren't making any plans are going to do. They're just going to try to get down the road far enough to get out of the way. So, better think about how you're going to present yourself and your family or whoever else that you're going to travel with to your bug out location. You want to make sure that you're going to have everything in the car or the truck, whatever you're using as a bug out vehicle. You want to make sure that you have it inside the car, the truck, whatever. Suburban would be an ideal bug out vehicle, and just kind of have it always full of gas, at least half a tank of gas in it. I mean, drink time, you guys. Oh yeah, I won a giveaway today. I don't even know what it was I won. It's one of those surprise drawings. If you guys don't know Mo Mellow Leather, get over there. I won his drawing, and he gives away some pretty good stuff once a month. I'll do an unboxing when it comes. So anyway, you want to make sure that your plan is not just to get out of town and go to a motel and lay around, because there's probably not going to be any motels there for you to get a hold of. You're probably going to have to go at least, I'd say, 600, maybe 1,000 miles before you ever get to anything that you can actually relax in. And some of you might even just have your bug out location there, you just don't ever really know. But you need to make sure that you're got enough supplies with you to get where you're going. Don't get just enough supplies to get you that 100 or 150 miles out of town where you're planning on getting your darn motel, because my opinion is you're not going to really be there. I mean, the motel is going to be full of all the people that didn't make the plan. So it's really important for you to uh, have your plan in place ahead of time. But we all know that already. I'm not telling you guys you don't know it. I'm just trying to remind you. So without plans, they'll probably run out of food and water. That's the guys that don't know any better. They're not going to have supplies in their vehicles. They're just going to pile in their cars. Oh, they'll probably take some water or beer with them or whatever, and some food, but they won't take enough to be able to survive. So you want to make sure that your plan includes a long-term supply of food and water. That's why being ready is important. You may have to have your bug out bags. Remember how we talk about those bug out bags always being on the ready? Well, if you really have to head out down the road to your bug out location, you're probably, hey, how you doing, FFP? Good to see you. If you're going to have to head out to your bug out location, you're probably going to have more than one bag. If you got a wife and 2 kids, 3 kids, you may want to consider having a bag for each one of you. That way you can get more supplies in the bags. Am I forgetting anything, Backwoods? You want to try to take food that isn't going to be cookable. I'm just looking at the chat, you guys. Hey, X, how you doing? If I forget anything, you guys, just put it in caps and just jump in wherever you want. Kind of planned on having some people up here, but they're either not here yet or don't plan on coming. I'll get there eventually. So you want to pack essentials like cooking stuff. You don't want to have anything that you actually have to cook, because if you have to stop and cook food, for one thing, it allows other people to see where you're at. So you want to try to have something that you won't give off enough light to notice where you're at. Is something like the little stove that I got here. These would work perfect, but you wouldn't want to spend a lot of time on the road. I'll take it out of here. I did a review on this. You guys probably already saw it, but it's a little camp stove. Hooks up to one of those little cans of fuel, and these would be ideal. You could boil some water at least so that you could make some on-the-go food or something like that, but you don't want to have to stop and actually do full meals or anything like that. Another thing is you want to make sure that you have medical supplies in there with you, okay? Because if you're like me, you're going to have more than one bag. So you're going to have one bag for clothes, one bag for food, one bag for medical supplies, etc., and etc. Another thing is you got to make sure that you have a change of clothes. You don't want to take the whole suitcase with you, but you want to take enough clothes that you can change from one cloth, set of clothes. Excuse me, I don't know what I was thinking. For one set of clothes, you could have one pair on and have one pair that you got to wash. Also, you want to make sure that you take any important papers with you. I've done other videos on this, and you guys can actually go back in my library and check it out. Is you want to make sure you take your important papers with you. Put them in a safe place, okay? Somewhere where if you were to get attacked or anything on the road, that they're not going to find your important papers. Nice thing is to have that ICE card. I don't know if all of you know what the ICE card is, but ICE stands for in case of emergency. So what that would have on it would be your name, who your doctor is, if it really matters at this point in time, what medications you take, who you could get a hold of in case of emergencies. It's called ICE. It's an ICE card in case of emergency. And I have one of those, and I put it. What I do is I put it behind my phone case. It's just always in there. That way, it's always with you. You don't have to worry about, oh, where did I put that thing or anything like that. You just say, hey, I've got it. So another thing is you want to take our is cash money. You don't want to take like large bills either. I mean, you want to keep it down to like 5s, 10s, and 20s, maybe a few 50s, but nothing real big, because if you got real big bills, they're going to assume that you got a lot of money. So you want to make sure that you keep that kind of at a minimum. And I wouldn't keep it out in the open or even in my wallet. That's something I wouldn't do. I mean, that is totally up to each individual where you keep it. Like I said, I keep some in the back of my phone with my ICE card, but my grandpa taught me to keep it in my sock, in my shoe. So I kind of have a couple of places I keep it, and I don't tell anybody I have it there, but it could come in handy in a squeeze, right? If you're bugging out to a bug out location and somebody were to stop you or something like that, if they were to frisk you and all that stuff, are they going to actually take all your clothes off? If they're going to be in a big hurry, they're really not going to take all your clothes off. They're going to frisk you down. They're going to look through your wallet, and try to get rid of all your ATM cards and stuff like that. But probably won't be any good, but you just never know. They may just hold on to them until everything starts back up and then try to use them then. There's a lot of bad people out there that know how to use those cards. Another thing is the clothing. We already covered that. Also, hygiene products. You want to make sure that you're still being clean, but you don't want to be like taking the whole bathroom with you. You want to just keep like toothpaste and maybe a small bar of soap, like those little soaps that come in that you get at the motels or hotels. Those would be perfect. Throw a couple of them in each of the bags, because all you're really doing is traveling from your bug-in location down to where your bug-out location is. And when you get to your bug-out location, you should probably have some stores and stuff there. Even if they're buried in the ground, they're there. So you want to be traveling kind of light, like you were going to go to Disney World or something. That's the mentality you have to have. We're just going to take a short road trip, So personal hygiene items are good. And then whatever you guys think that you might need, like I would have to think about what medications I take. I was going to have them up here on the table for you guys to see tonight. But trust me, I take enough that I worry about it. I would have to take some medications with me. What I've been doing lately is, they generally let you order early on your prescriptions so that you're never out. They just kind of overlap all the time. So when you do that, you take the ones that were left, the 5 or 6 that are left, and you put those in an empty bottle that has the same prescription name on the bottle, and you just keep throwing the extras in there. If you do it, they add up pretty fast. I have several bottles saved up by doing that. It's a really good idea. Most pharmacies do it now. It's you call them up and you say, hey, I need my prescription filled, and they just fill it. So then you've got your fresh 30-day supply. You take the 5 or 6 left over, you take them and you throw them in another bottle, and you've got them. And then just keep them handy so that if you have to leave, you can just throw them in one of the bags. You have to have your vehicle already stocked up, pre-stocked up if you've got a bug-out vehicle. Like, if you watch some of these other videos online, you'll see that some guys buy a vehicle for nothing but a bug-out vehicle. So what they do is they supply the bug-out vehicle. They make sure everything on it is in working order. I mean, if it's got bad brakes, they fix it. If it's got steering knuckle bad, they fix it. they make it as in tip-top condition, even if it just sits there in the driveway and you don't use it very often. Maybe you take it out four-wheeling or something in the summer. But you want to make sure you keep things in there like bottled cases of bottled water. Just have them up in the back end of it or whatever. Maybe some blankets or some spare clothes, or maybe even have some personal protection in there. Like if you're anything like me, I carry a pistol. I have my concealed permit, but if the grid's down and all that, that's not going to make any difference. But you will want to make sure that you have personal protection, whether it be a pistol or a rifle or a shotgun, whatever. Throw it up in the bug out vehicle so that you got some sort of protection for you and your family, or the people that are traveling with you. Just so that everybody stays safe. Thing is, though, you don't want to create a fight. You want to avoid a fight at any cost, but at the same time have enough personal protection that you can take care of yourself. That includes the ammo. Make sure your gun's locked and loaded and ready to be used at a moment's notice. And also, here you're going to have some problems probably on the road too, and you want to make sure that your personal protection is easily accessible. So what you want to do is just keep it accessible. You should always have enough supplies in your bug out vehicle to last a minimum of 3 days. And you should always make sure that you have your ammunition and your personal protection inside your bug out vehicle. So, if, like I said, you don't want to cause any problems, but you want to be able to take care of yourself. Here's another thing that you have to think about is when you're bugging out and you're in your car and you're going down the road and you're finding that the motels are already filled up, that are like 100 miles out, 200 miles out, whatever. You want to make sure that you want to make sure that you stop at all the checkpoints. Don't try to blast through them. What you might want to do is there's going to be different kinds of places, checkpoints. They might have checkpoints. They might even have, what's the name of it? I can't think of it, but it's like a law enforcement checkpoint, and that's where they'll go through your vehicle looking for the guns or whatever you have. Make sure that if you have your concealed permit, license and stuff like that, tell them. It might not make any difference at that point in time, but if they know that you have that license to have that stuff, they're going to know that you're trained. So that's a pretty important thing. Don't try to hide your weapons from the checkpoints, because if they find them and you lie about it, then they've got reason to have an issue with you. So if you've got them, make sure that when you go through the checkpoints, you tell them. They may take them, but if you're like me, you'll have another one hidden somewhere in the vehicle. So let them take the one that they can find, and that way you can keep the one that they didn't find. So back to the thing about the car is you want to make sure it's good running order at all times, and you want to make sure that all the belts, the fluids, the tires, the water in the radiator, anything that you can think of is actually tip-top condition, because it's going to you could look at it like this: it's going to depend on your life. If you don't want to be going down the road with all this stuff in the back end that's going to get you to your bug out location, and then have your car break down, because you can't pack all that stuff with you. I hate to tell you this, just not going to happen. Keith, have a throwaway weapon. That's right. That's what I was getting at there. You have one that's with you, that's your personal protection, but have another one that they may not be able to find in the vehicle. Our probably going to have lines of people trying to get through these checkpoints. Excuse me again. Maybe a drink's in order. But you want to make sure that you have something stashed in your car. I'm not going to tell you where to put it because you're all adults in here and can decide where you want to stash a gun or a knife or something that you could use for personal protection. Everybody on the right page so far? Yeah, Die Bullfrog is saying a rifle, a shotgun, or even a 22. You could hide those things pretty easily in your vehicle. Mega barter. I don't get it. You could make sure you got ammo for all of your weapons. Another thing is, if you have if you have people with you, like say your significant other, your wife, your children, maybe the next door neighbor and his wife or whatever, and their kids, make sure they all can use the weapons that you have in the vehicle. Make sure that they know how to load them, how to point them, how to shoot them, and how to make sure that the mags are all loaded up and ready to go. I mean, it's not going to do any good if you're the only one that's going to be shooting if the need should arise. You're going to have to make sure that everyone in your car is trained or at least has enough instruction that they could use any of the weapons that you have in your vehicle. And it says never get yourself in a bind. You know, if you don't think you're gonna have a chance of winning or getting through the situation, back off. I mean, it's not worth you're losing your life or your family's life just to prove a point. Just back off and make sure that everything is in order. Keith says when police shoot the wrong person, they have a clean weapon on them and lay it in the person's hand. Yeah, I probably wouldn't. I don't come from a big city. That could be possible. Uncle Al says watch the movie Panic in the Year Zero. So when you're going to go from point A to point B, C, or D, or Z, or wherever, the big thing is to make sure that your vehicle is in tip-top condition. Make sure that your to-go bags or your bug-out bags, excuse me, same difference. You would make sure that they all contain enough things to keep you alive for at least 3 days. So if it was me getting ready to take off from my secure little abode right here, I would have 4 bags lined up against the back door, you know, on that wall by the back door, would hold things like soap and shampoo and personal items, and make sure you have enough food in there that you don't have to cook. Because you're going to have water and stuff out in the bug-out vehicle. You could use the water to cook up your MREs or whatever. There's going to be plenty of time to be Susie Homemaker when you get to the bug-out location. Surely you guys can eat MREs or food that's already been prepared, maybe cooked, you know, canned up or whatever. But you want to make sure that you keep a low profile and going through the checkpoints and make sure they do everything. You do everything they expect. If they ask if you have weapons, tell them, yeah, you got weapons. If they don't ask you, don't tell them. And don't ask, don't tell sort of thing. Okay, I'm going to open it up to the chat now. Make sure you put it in big letters because I'm blind. If you have something to add to this discussion. Every cop has their own local enemies. That's right, Cindy. My friend came in. How are you doing, Pythons? Good to see you, my friend. Must snuck in while I was talking. I don't know if I would want to barter my water, Heat Seeker, unless I had a good supply of it. You know, maybe you could put it in some water bottles so they thought you just had cases of it. If you had like a Berkey or whatever, some way of sterilizing it, making it good for drinking, you may want to be able to barter it then. But I wouldn't be giving my water away. My opinion, of course. See, when you start going through time to leave your bug-in location, there's going to be a lot of criminals out there taking advantage of the situation. Sure, we're going to have first responders out there, such as police officers or ambulance drivers or aid. I can't think of it. I went blank. Paramedics. You know, they're all going to be out there, and they're going to be real busy taking care of the people that are asking for help. You know, and so there's always going to be the criminal element that's running around assaulting people and probably killing them and taking what they want. Because the first responders are just going to be so darn busy, they're not going to be able to take care of everything. And then when it all breaks down so far that they can't keep up, they'll all probably, in my opinion now, this is only my opinion, they will all probably just go home and protect their families because they'll be, or I would anyway, I'd be concerned about my family's safety and me not being there. Pioneer Tools, that's right. He's talking about making your own tools. Hey, Sue, how you doing? Good to see you, my friend. Glad you stopped through here. Yep, no matter what, have a bag packed and ready to go. I actually have 2 or 3 of them packed and ready to go. Hey, small town Southern Homestead, how are you doing? Good to see you. Did I miss anything there, Backwoods? You guys want to add anything to what I've told you? These are all my opinions, so surely I missed something. Says Pack Essentials, just read my own notes. Pack Essentials, food doesn't, and take food that doesn't require cooking. Because remember, if you're only going to go for 3 days, it should take you only 3 days to get where you're going. So make sure that you're taking food that you don't have to cook. It'll make you travel faster too. Pioneering tool for the road. What's that? What are you suggesting there, Uncle? What type of pioneering tool? Exactly, Heat Seeker. Are you both going to be able to carry those bags if need be? You got a dog you can pack one with? So that's another thing. If you got animals, you could train them to carry some necessities for you. I've seen dogs up at the dog park here. They train them. They put little backpacks on them, and they start out with nothing on them, and then they make them run around and carry absolutely nothing. And then every time they come back, there's something added to it. Pretty soon, they are traveling with a full harness. It's not really a backpack. It's more of a sweater they wear with bags on each side, like a saddlebag. But that's how they train them here. They start them out with nothing and then slowly just add weight to them. So you could train your dogs to do something like that. Shovel axe, pry bar, yep, have all those things in your bug out vehicle. Like I said, that bug out vehicle should be ready at all times. You should never, I mean, never let that thing get under half a tank of gas. I have a Jeep. I never let that thing get under 3/4 of a tank of gas. I mean, it's just something that you train yourself to do. I mean, you never know when you got to just shoot out the door at a moment's notice and head out down the road, you know. Pack mules. You be gone longer than 3 days that way, Keith. Excuse me. A tomahawk. You know what? You can get one of those. It's an awesome looking one. I've been wanting to get one. I just keep going to forget to go down there and get it. But Home Depot, we don't have a Lowe's here, but we have a Home Depot, and they have a heck of an axe in there. It's more like a battle axe than just a regular outdoors axe. It has the axe on one end, then it has the spike on the other end, and it's totally made out of steel, except for down where the handle is. It's got a steel shank all the way through the handle, but the handle is that foamy, rubbery stuff. I would change that right away, but man, that is an awesome tool. I really want to get one. They're only about $32, and that's at Home Depot. That's over in the tool section. Lou says he can't get the mule to sit down in the back seat, Keith. Like I said, them mules are going to take you a whole lot longer to get there. "99 Red says he wants a hammer on his back, not the pick. Well, you know what? You'd probably, both of them would come in handy. Might be able to use that pick as to kill the zombies. The Walking Dead. Just kidding." We got somebody leaving. Small town southern housewife says she has a tomahawk. I just did a sheath for the head of a tomahawk. Road hazards. Road hazards will be in there for sure, Uncle. If all heck breaks loose, that's going to be hard out there on the road, period. Is because you're going to have a lot. It's going to be just massive road is going to just be filled with lines of cars. Most of them are going to be with people that didn't even think about what they needed to do in case of emergencies, such as being prepared. I don't know how many of you guys watched that Team Foco video the other day, but he told a story about teaching a man to fish, and that was a very good story about he was trying to teach this guy how to prep or prepare, for hard times. And he gave him a bunch of food and told him not to touch it unless he got low on food, and then he could take a little bit out, and then till he got his money, and then go out and buy all new food and just replace what he took. Well, he went back to visit the guy a few months later, and he asked him how the preps were doing, and he says, "Oh man, we're doing good. They're almost all gone." So I had to reflect on that and say, you can lead a man to water, but you can't make him drink. So he took all the food that was given to him for free, and they ate it instead of leaving it there on the shelf and working off of what they could regularly. Four-wheel drive, yeah, be a good idea, but it's not going to be necessary. It will depend on where you live at. It will depend on where you live at. It'll depend on the time of year you have to do it. Uh, Four-wheel drives will probably eat a lot of gas. You want to try to conserve things like gasoline. That's another thing that you need to make sure that you have on your rig. Not inside of it, but on it. You could make little racks somehow, either out of steel or wood or something, and put some cans on the back outside of your vehicle. I've seen it done so many times. I've even made racks. I'm a welder by trade, or was, and I've made a lot of racks that would hold those big jerry cans. So there's ways of storing your fuel and taking it with you. So, because I'm thinking if you're out there trying to get to your bug out location and you're trying to stop and get some fuel, maybe at a gas station, if the power's out, they're not going to be able to pump that gas out. They may have something rigged up that they can get the fuel out of the ground with, but it's going to take forever, and there's going to be big lines waiting for that fuel. So if you can have fuel with you, that's why I keep telling you guys, or have told you guys, that you should have at least a minimum of a half a tank of gas in your rig. And like I said, I usually keep 3/4 of a tank in my rig. And that's just because you don't ever know if you're going to be able to get to your fuel or not. So that would be something else that you'd have to really consider, is taking fuel with you and having a way to keep it outside the vehicle so that you live. Yep, the roads are going to be pretty congested for sure. And it's going to be like nonstop. You might be going 1 mile an hour, and that would give anybody that was not quite all there a chance to approach you and take advantage of you some way, possibly hurt you terminally, or just enough to be able to take what you have. So that's why you want to make sure you have that personal protection. And you want to make sure that everybody in the vehicle knows how to use all that personal protection. You may even want to consider buying yourself some body armor. I mean, that might not hurt, I mean, like I said, everybody has to have their own idea of what they think is necessary to be bugging out with, but you want to try to do it in a way that it's going to make it the safest way possible. So maybe the driver of the vehicle could wear armor, and the other ones could keep watch or whatever. These are all things that you just have to think about. Tell you what, Keith, it's time to train them up. My son started shooting guns at a very young age, so it can be done. Most kids like to shoot them, they think it's fun. So if you show them the right way to handle the weapon and the right way to take care of the weapon and the right way to point the thing, then down the road it's going to pay off, you know. Two guns, yeah. That's right. I would only have one on me, though, because, like I said, there's going to be several checkpoints. I am convinced of that. I'm convinced that there's going to be a lot of checkpoints to go through. For one thing, you're going to be trying to get out of probably be trying to get out of a city, so they'll have a checkpoint for that. And then every city that you come to or town, they'll have their own checkpoints to go through. So you'll be checkpointed there, and then that's probably when they'll ask you if you have any firearms. They probably won't really even ask you about things like tomahawks or knives or anything like that. They'll be asking about firearms. So that's when you want to just be up front and you pull that pistol out and you go, yeah, I got a pistol. Why, you know? So that way they might just confiscate one gun and leave you with the rest because you're being honest. They think you're being honest with them. Small town Southern Homestead, she's going to go to Ohio. I got to get this where I can see it, guys. Sorry. Columbus, Ohio, huh? Like I said, Keith, you shouldn't really want to start the problems. You just want to be able to take care of them as they come along. Actually, you really want to just try to keep everybody as calm as possible that's in your vehicle. But at the same time, and we've talked about this several times, not just me, but other channels as well, situational awareness. And that's teaching everybody that you are responsible for in your vehicle the same thing, and teaching situational awareness so you know everything that's going on around them. That means you don't really need that M14, Keith, until they fire first. Hey, how you doing, Gray Man? Good to have you in here. You have plates. I figured you had some. These days, they got some that are so light you don't even know you're wearing them. That would be the kind I'd need. But they have some pretty good ones out there. They don't hardly weigh anything. Talking about getting from point A to point B, Gray Man. Say you have to leave your bug in location because of ordeal. Maybe somebody tried to take your house over or whatever you're in, pushed you to moving out onto the road to head to your bug out location. Could be several bug out locations if you guys think about it. Could be that you get to your original bug out location only to find it has been taken over by somebody else. Now, depending on how those people react to you getting there, will depend on whether you need to go to point C after reaching point B, or maybe even point Z. But it's all in having the right plan put together. And this is I don't really say this much because I figured that most of the people in here are preppers, and the ones that aren't are going to learn from the ones that are. But write your plan down. I mean, write it down and go over it all the time, and have the people that are in your group or in your family, make sure that they read the darn thing too, you know, make sure that everybody knows what the plan is. Because if it happens really fast, you're going to try to be as calm as you can so that you can get out safely. The big key will be to stay calm. You're going to run everybody over and head my way? So by the time you get here, you're going to have a big ass bunch of people after us, right? Gray Man, he's up there in the middle of nowhere, so he probably won't have to worry about any of this until until everybody in the city decides that they want to live out on the lam, out in the country where they can do the things they want to, you know. And some of the things that we really need to think about is was if you're bugging in, what if there was a nuclear attack? Do you have a place to bug under? Because you're going to have to go underground. I'm just wishing that when that flash comes, I can go like this and have it done and over with. Uncle Al says read the book Lucifer's Hammer. So we're headed for the LZ up north, huh, Keith? That's okay. The Kalen's right on the way. Yeah, we talked about that in one of, I think it was last week, Heat Seeker, about staying the course, trying to maybe plywood up the windows and stuff. This would be, this situation would be is if all else fails. If all else fails, then you would want to make sure that you can make a clean break of it and get the heck out of Dodge. Oh, we're going to have a caravan then. Is that right, Keith? All right, Diggers. Thanks for coming in, my friend. I watched your video earlier today. I'm kind of being stretched a little bit thin, but I'm trying to make everything. You have a good evening, sir. Oh, you're going to try to be solo? They call that the lone wolf syndrome, I believe. I went to the mailbox today, Frank. You got that sticker coming in the mail, buddy. They got lots of goodies up here. I hear you, Keith. You're the angel. Yep, convoy. You got a mine tunnel? That might make a good bomb shelter if it went in far enough. It would depend on where the fallout is. That's right, FFP. Absolutely. He is saying the concept of observation is key to survival. Look, listen, learn, calm, cool, collective. who, what, where, when, and how. Yep, that's all in that situational awareness. Yep. That might be a good way. Yeah. The train heat seeker bus said railroads and power lines would probably be a good way to travel. And he is probably right there because the trains won't be running anyway. You could just use the tracks as your road. Same way with the power lines. All those power lines that are put in, even out in the middle of nowhere, they all have little trails that go through the brush and stuff so that the repair vehicles can get out there and take care of them. So there would be rough roads or trails that would get you through that area. Local high schools set for fallout. Yeah, they have fallout shelters everywhere around here. That's because we live in in what they call tornado alley. So the big swath comes through here. So they have shelters all over the place. I live in some pretty flat country. So those tornadoes, they just kind of bounce around wherever they want. A canoe and a horse would very well be. Actually, that would actually have to be part of your plan. You would have to have it all planned out. You could make your canoe your bug out vehicle. Double check that they are 59 years old. That's what Uncle says. Be ready to swim, yeah. Well, you just never know, that's for sure. You would have to move slow and sweet. Hey, how you doing, Jason? Good to see you. Trigger control, exactly. You weren't here when I was telling everybody to make sure that whoever they were traveling with, to make sure they were trained in personal protection. Trigger control is a big part of that. That's just so that you're not pulling the trigger when you're not supposed to. People don't really know that when you're scared, you could pull that trigger accidentally. I would think railroads would be a good way to go. What would happen though if they got a hold of one of those trucks that runs on the rails? That would make a pretty good bug out vehicle, huh? Get one of those trucks with the train wheels on them. Most of those trucks are pretty big. You could probably deck it out pretty good. 13 degrees in Missouri, you guys. Let me see if I can refresh. I know it's colder now. Yep, it's whole 9 degrees here, Jason. Deer trails would work good because they are all traveled pretty well. Like I say, you guys, you really need to have a plan, and whatever your plan is, write it down so whoever is going to be traveling with you, they know the plan too. Rails would be a great way to go, honestly. I would want to steal one of those darn train cars. Yeah, railroad pickup. Yeah, they even have 1 ton ones. You know, you could put a lot of stuff on a 1 ton. They're 4-door vehicles, but they have a flatbed on the back. Oh, you try shooting with your weak hand? Is that what you're saying, Gray Man? A set of deer hoofs. That's a good idea. I never heard of it. I guess that would work. You could put them on like walking sticks. That's a good idea, Gray Man. I never thought about doing that. I've shot with my left hand. I'm not any good at it, but that would be a good thing to learn is how to shoot either-handed so that your fingers are flexing with your mind. People might be tracking deer for food. The only thing wrong with that is there's going to be a lot of people out there hunting for that wildlife. You need a scavenger in your group? I think you're going to find that when you don't have, you're going to turn into a scavenger. Yep, that's true. Sue says even if you have to walk, it's not going to be too steep of a slope, and that will lead to something. She's absolutely right there. The more you walk, the better you get. The healthier you get, too. Hey, look who just walked in, you guys. How you doing, Herman? Good to see you, my friend. They're going to have the deer running all over the place, Gray Man. I'd be waiting to watch them out there trying to chase them down on foot. Yes, sir. You should have a crowbar and maybe some lock picks in your bug out bag. I don't know how many people have those, but you should have at least a lock pick and a small crowbar. I have one of those crowbars that are about that long. It's got that little hook end on it. They call it a bear's paw. That thing comes in handy for everything. .12 gauge lockpick. Well, you know, they have a lot of lockpicks out there, you guys. And you know what? They're really not that expensive. I think I saw some on Amazon that ranged anywhere from $7 all the way up to $100, depending on what you want. But they all basically do the same thing. I want to get one of those gun ones where you just stick it in there and you pump it 3 times and it pops the tumblers open. Those are only about $22. Mo Mello, hey, how you doing, my friend? Leather handcuffs, there you go. He's thinking. You're going to have to keep somebody hostage, you're going to need those leather handcuffs. You could put a stiff bar between them, too. How are you tonight, sir? I was just telling everybody earlier about winning your contest. Zip ties. Zip ties are the best. They come pretty long now. I have some in my get home bag that are about that long. And they come in handy just not for handcuffs, but for other things too. No, thank you, sir. Steel zip ties? I've never heard of steel zip ties. Those are you talking about like trapping cordage? They use those rounded ones for trapping. Those would make good handcuffs. I think they're trying to get out of the well traveled path, Uncle. Might not be any military patrols out there. I would probably assume there'd be drones in the air if there was anything. Yeah, zip ties are good for everything, you guys. You guys can get those assorted length ones. I just went and got the long ones because I figure if you got a long one, it'll be good for anything. You can always cut it off or whatever. Yeah, we're going to pick you up on our way out of town, Kalen, when we bug out. We're going to start the caravan. Your place is right in line with Gray Man's. We'll be just going straight north. Train a hawk for the drones. Yeah, that or just shoot the darn things down. By then, they'll probably have drones that shoot back. Heck, they already got them now. I think they use them in Iraq. Oh, you could put all your packs together with the super long ones? Yeah. Then how are you going to carry your backpacks, Kalen? You're going to put them on your three-wheeler, right? Don't go north. You got to go somewhere. You go east or west, you're going to hit big cities. You're going to hit big cities no matter what, but you're going to hit big cities going east and west. Those are the where all the lines run for transport of food and fuel and stuff. What, go down to Medico? Should we go to Medico? Don't go north. Why not, Gray Man? Hey, look who's here. You guys don't know about the wonderful SJ's Mixed Adventures. You guys go over there and check her out. She does a lot of stuff. She's going to be in the troop that goes north with us because she knows how to do metal detecting. She's going to find all the good stuff that we need to barter with. She recently just started pouring copper and silver. You guys should really go check her out. All that copper and silver could be used for bartering. Humans are easy to deal with, so what if I come up there, you're gonna shoot me? Oh, you got that much from the LCS? You hear that, Keith? She says if we go south, she can interpret. Yep, she can actually find the bullets with that metal detector. Sand molds. I think I talked about that when you first started, didn't I? Yeah, it would probably be crazier than here. Mexico would. They're crazy anyway, but just talk about SHTF. You never know. They might be the ones that bomb us. You never can tell about those guys. They pretty much keep to themselves down there. Yep, I can't wait to see your creations. I gotta eat my banana. It's dying. All right, Uncle. Thanks for coming in, bud. I'll see you out there on the road. You guys, if you're not supporting him, make sure you go check him out. I figure it'll be an EMP before there'll be a nuclear war for sure. I think they'll EMP us for sure, and then if that doesn't work, then they'll start dropping some bombs on us. Oh man, don't tell me that. Let's talk. Those are good for your legs. Keeps them from cramping up. All right, FFP. Thanks for coming by. I'm getting ready to get out of here too. It's about 7 minutes. Got about 7 minutes left, you guys. You have a great evening, FFP. I come prepared, Sylvia. Here, you can have some of mine. Aaron Gone Wild, how you doing? Welcome. I shall. I'll see you out there, FFP. We travel the same circles. It was a great stream, you guys. I really appreciate all you guys coming in here. We still have 17 folks in here. I'm really appreciative. Aaron Gone Wild, how are you? I saw you sneak in. If you guys don't know Aaron, go check him out. You don't have to tell people in here about it, Aaron. They pretty much just do it. Hey, NWA Prepper, how are you doing? You just been here listening or what? All right, Mo Mello, thanks. You know my address is in my About section, right? Just been back there listening, huh? Good job, NWA. Sometimes that's what I do, too. Hey, Robert and Cindy, how are you doing? Glad to see you. We got about 5 minutes left, but you're welcome to hang around. McDonald's? Yuck. Once in a super great while, I might go get a double cheeseburger or something. But mostly, I just stay away from that place. Actually, when I was a kid, Gray Man, I lived in the city where they first got their start. And the sign read that they had sold over 100 meals. I think it's over 100 million or 100 billion by now, but back in the day, I would think I was only like 6 or 7, and they were saying, we served over 100 burgers. That was their big deal. Telling on my age, huh, SJ? China eats about 450 million metric tons of rice. That's a lot. That's probably all they let them eat. Tracy's Backyard Wildlife. How you doing? You're new here, but you're welcome to stay for the remainder of the stream, which isn't very long. Well, when I was in my late teens and early 20s, I probably ate a lot of fast food, but these days, pretty much not. There you go, Gray Man. That's what it's all about. Are you guys big enough that you grow commercially then? You know, I bet there's a lot of China goods in McDonald's. I bet a lot of their food stuff comes from there. How else could they have such cheap food? All right, you guys, I'm going to start winding her up. I'm going to tell you guys tomorrow is story time with Will. It's already uploaded and it'll be on first thing in the morning. So you guys will have all day to look at it. It's getting to a good part. It started out a little slow, but man, it's starting to pick up. Yep, I'll be over there in a little bit, SJ. And then Wednesday we have that morning live stream, remember. You got to be there to get your name into the Saturday drawing. That means if you're working, stop on your break and talk for 5 minutes and get your name in the list. Last week we had 2 drawings. I'd like to see that happen again. It seems like the last 2 or 3 weeks we've had a couple of drawings. I'd like to keep up that run. So Wednesday it starts at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, runs till around noon ish. Up Wednesday, I got something to do. Holy cow! We might have to do it in the evening. I'll have to think about it. I'll put something out for you guys. We may have to do Wednesday in the evening. I forgot I have to leave town for the day on Wednesday. Yeah, there's a lot of them that do that crop rotation, Sue. So anyway, I want to thank everybody that came tonight. And I'm going to have to think about Wednesday because I forgot I had to go out of town. We may do the Wednesday stream in a Wednesday evening. If everybody's game for that, give me a thumbs up, and that's what we'll do. Give more people time to get in anyway. Well, I'll just have to change the time, Kaylin. I'll have to make it earlier in the evening. Well, I'll tell you what, you guys. We'll do Wednesday. We'll do it at let's say 7:00 p.m. Because I'll be gone all day. I'll be out of town. Now you gotta have those names for Saturday, so we'll have to do one Wednesday. If not Wednesday, Thursday. I will. All right, you guys. Thanks for coming. See you out there on the tube. Love you guys.